Jiggy cat on a damn killing spree. This is Nagato, and you can't mimic my energy. 100 rounds drawn and me hanging like a centipede.
Yo, what's up everyone, it's me Nagato's Revenge and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a new homebrew application for the PlayStation 4 that allows users to unlock trophies. What I do want to state is some major disclaimers and additional information like I do in all of my other videos, so everyone is on the same page and then everyone can have basically a better understanding on how this homebrew application works. So note for this homebrew application is still in its early stages of development, and I'll be utilizing the beta version of this app since version 1.0, or I believe 1.1, excuse me, gave me some errors on the PC. So I'll be using version 1.0. So this could just be a user error on my end. However, if you want to use the latest version of this homebrew application, I will leave a GitHub link for that. But that's just one thing I want to go ahead and state out the way as of right now. Another additional information that I want to give you guys, and as well as some disclaimers, not all games will work with this process, so there is some compatibility issues you might face when launching this homebrew application, and the error that you may get is NP-34942-2. You may get other errors, I'm really not too sure, but the games that I did test, all of them worked fine when I was trying to unlock the trophies. Additionally, this will generate a new package file that will overwrite the previous installation of your game, so please be sure to back up your games. In simplistic terms, when you have the actual new PKG file compiled, it will just only have the base of the homebrew application that allows you to unlock said trophies. So if you were trying to do like Kingdom Hearts 3 for example, and you went to install the new package file that only unlocks trophies, it will basically kind of overwrite Kingdom Hearts 3 entirely. So please be sure to back up your games. There are many tutorial guides that I've created and you know, visual websites that you could go ahead and take a look on how to do that, and any useful links will be in the link in the description down below. Last but not least, the last disclaimer I do want to state: I haven't updated my firmware to 7.02 yet, and I'll be utilizing my PlayStation 4 that is on 6.72 to test this homebrew application. However, I'm just staying on this lower firmware since it has more stability. I believe since 7.02 hasn't have you know, the best stability as of yet, so that's the reason why I'm just going to be testing out for this application. With all of that getting out the way, we're going to go ahead and transfer to the prerequisites for the PS4, and anything like I use for this video will be in the link in the description down below. So first things first, you need a modded PlayStation 4 that is on firmware 6.72 firmware or lower. Once again, note I haven't tested this application on 7.02, so this might work for users who are on said firmware. So if you guys are on that firmware and you want to test this homebrew application, please leave a comment down below and I could, you know, update the title and just let everyone know that this homebrew application does work on higher firmwares. Of course, you need to have Alzif or any exploit host of your choice that has a dumper payload, because we're going to be dumping our game to get a few files. Any fake PKG for PS4 game of your choice will work. Notice that there is a compatibility issue with some games, so I don't want to say, you know, this works 100% for all titles, but if you have any fake PKG PS4 title, you should be fine. I didn't test any disc-based games, but I'm sure it will work out just fine as well. And note, we will need to dump 4 key files for this process, which is the PARAM.SFO, Trophy.TRP, NpTitle.DAT, and NpBind.DAT. All of these 4 files are needed for the program to basically decrypt and create a new package file for your PS4, which basically unlocks the trophies. And last but not least, there are 2 other prerequisites which we'll be needing for today. Is a USB stick that is either formatted to FAT32 or EXFAT. I highly recommend to at least have a 32GB or more USB drive when you're doing this, since if you're dumping a game such as like Kingdom Hearts 3, GTA 5, Final Fantasy, any of those big title games, and you're dumping it, you're going to need a larger size USB drive for that method. Since the game I'm going to be testing out today, which is like some Atari classic game, is under 1GB, I'll just be using a FAT32 USB drive, but that's something to keep in mind. And last but not least, you'll need the TrophyUnlocker.exe PC application, which will basically do all the work in terms of setting up the homebrew application itself so you could transfer to your PS4. With all of that being out the way, we're ready to go to get started on the PC and PS4 side of things. Alrighty, so as of right now, you should be already ready to go on your PlayStation 4. And now that we already got all of the disclaimers and additional information out the way, I'm going to show you guys on how to exactly to do this on the PS4. So first things first, I'm already assuming that your device is already modded in some shape or form. If you guys don't know how to jailbreak your PlayStation 4, I will have a card right now on the screen to show you guys on how to do that on 6.72 firmware. Additionally, that link will be in the link in the description down below. But regardless, what we're going to do is go ahead and open up our settings pane, user guide, and user guide again. I'm assuming that you already have Alzif exploit host set up. Once again, just check out the jailbreak video if you don't know how to do that. Go ahead and select the firmware version of your PlayStation 4. So if you're on 7.02 or 7.0, excuse me, to 7.02, go ahead and click that. If you're on 6.72 like me, go ahead and select that version, or if you're on any other lower firmware, go ahead and select that category. Next, what we're going to be doing is launching up MIRA hen, or either you can use MIRA or MIRA unofficial. I like to use MIRA unofficial since for some reason MIRA for me always has a kernel payload crash. So right now I'm just letting the website initialize on my PS4 device, so it takes a little bit of time. And once that is fully done, what we're going to do is go ahead and get that set up. So you may have like a free memory error like I did here. That is, you know, pretty much normal if you're used to the PS4 jailbroken scene. If you get kernel panic, just reset your PS4 and then just follow along. So right now I'm just waiting. So like right there, it just says the jailbreak was successful. You should see some notifications on the side of your screen. So right now it says waiting for clients. What I like to do is just wait for all the notifications that will pass. So there should be 2, and then you can exit out by hitting the PlayStation button. So I'll wait for like a couple of seconds. So right now it's good. We'll go ahead and hit the PS button. Now, if we go into our settings via right here, you should see your debug settings, which is a good thing. That's how you know if you're on MIRA hen, and if you have any fake package games, you could go ahead and launch into it. So right now, if I go into my trophies, you can see here, if I scroll down to arcade series, or excuse me, I'm trying to find the Atari game because that's the one I did my test on, should be 100%. So you can see here, if I go to Atari Flashback Classics, you'll notice that these games don't have any timestamp. And if I go into the screenshot earned, this is like how the actual Homebrew application looks. So it will take a screenshot of the game once it, of course, or basically it will take a screenshot of the specific trophy you've earned. So that's how the Homebrew application looks like. But you can see here that I have a 100% trophy. What I'm going to do for this process as well is go into a secondary user that doesn't have any trophies basically embedded, so you can see that this process is working from start to finish. So right now, if I go into my trophy history, you can see here there's no trophies. So what I do recommend, whatever game that you want to go ahead and create your trophies for, basically to unlock them, just go ahead and launch said game. So right now I'm gonna go and launch Atari Flashback Classic, and if it's your first time doing this for any sort of title, basically it's going to generate the trophy file within the actual PlayStation 4's hard drive. So right now I'm just waiting for it to do its thing. So just wait till your game gets to the main menu. Of course, if you already played the game on the actual console itself, you should already have the trophy information. So right now you can see that it's 0%, but by the end of this video, this will be on 100% once we unlock it with the Homebrew application. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and we're going to go back to the PC and get everything set up. So right now, just leave your PS4 on pause, and we're going to go to the PC to get our TrophyUnlocker..exe file downloaded, and we're going to go ahead and get our USB set up. So I'll meet you guys for that. Alrighty guys, assuming that you are ready to go on the PS4 side of things, we're on the PC desktop right now, and I'm going to show you guys all of the necessary files we need to get this process done. So first things first, go ahead and open up any web browser of your choice. So if you're using like Internet Edge, Google Chrome, or Firefox, it really doesn't matter. All you got to do is go in the link in the description down below, or you could just type this URL here, and we're going to go and download the Trophy Unlocker beta. Here is just a general synopsis of what the program does. And you could go ahead and read that for yourself, but what I'm going to do just to speed this video up a little bit right now is just download TrophyUnlocker..Zip. So once you have that, it's a 20 megabyte file, so it shouldn't take too long. That's what we're going to be doing for this process. Next thing, I will have a article, just little right here if you want to read more about this program or a homebrew application from Payload.net. This is just a supplemental reading just to learn more about this homebrew. But what we're going to do now is go ahead and go into our downloads folder, go into TrophyUnlocker..Zip. You can use WinRAR or 7-zip to extract this out, and I'm going to just extract this file here to my desktop, and this is how the homebrew application looks. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and launch TrophyUnlocker.exe, and this is the version 1.0 of this. I do have version 1.01 somewhere on my PC, and it kind of looks different, but I had some little issues with that, as it wouldn't generate the PKG file properly. What's the next step? What we got to do from here is go ahead and format our USB drive, since we're going to be dumping our game, and we're going to be getting these 4 key files. So the PARAM.SFO, Trophy.TRP, NpTitle.DAT, and NpBind.DAT. And all of these files are required for this process. So if you're missing one, the PKG will have issues installing, and you'll just, be basically, not able to run this homebrew application. So first things first, what we're going to do is go to our USB drive here. As you can see, I did already some of the work here. So once our game is dumped, in this case, if I go into SE_SS folder, you can see the game that I was talking about earlier was Atari Flashback Classics, and you can see the files right here like NpBind.DAT, NpTitle.DAT, PARAM.SFO, and in the trophy folder here, this is where all of the files we need to basically pack our data. But I'm going to show you guys on how to basically get your game dumped properly, as well as how to get this set up. So first things first, go and plug in a USB device on your PC. In this case, I already have mine's on here. If I go into properties, mine's is already on FAT32. If your thing is on EXFAT or FAT32, you're good to go. Just note, if you are on FAT32, you may run into some issues. So it's better if you're on EXFAT. And if you're going to be dumping a game that is large in size, like once again GTA 5, Kingdom Hearts, Gran Turismo, those games that are like 60 gigabytes in size, be sure that you have enough space. Since my game is under like 1 gigabyte in size, I believe. So let me actually go into property. Yeah, it's only 298 megabytes. I really don't need that much USB space, but once again, I highly recommend going the external hard drive for amount, at least having 32 gigabytes to do this process. So right now, I'm going to go ahead and reformat my drive. Once you reformat your drive, all of your data will be erased. So if you have any important information on your USB, go ahead and dump that to your PC or on a Google Cloud server or something like that, just so you have your data backed up. Because once you reformat your hard drive, it will basically be a no-go to get your data back. So what I'm going to do here is reformat. If you have a 32 gigabyte or higher drive, go ahead and hit EXFAT. PS4s cannot read NTFS file drive systems, so please be sure either you go on FAT32 or EXFAT. In this case, since I have only an 8 gigabyte drive, I'll just be using FAT32. Allocation unit size really doesn't matter, just hit default allocation size. Volume label, this is just what you want to call your USB. I'm just going to call mine USB here, and please make sure you have quick format on. Once you have that, you can hit start, and then it will just prop up a warning just saying formatting will erase all your data on this disk. To format your disk, hit OK. Basically, if you format this, you'll lose all your files. I really don't care about this USB drive, since it's just for testing YouTube purposes, but if you had anything important, be sure to back it up, as I said before. But once your USB drive is all good to go, all you have to do is hit OK here, go ahead and back out, and what we're going to do is open up our file explorer again. We're going to go into our USB drive, and you should see once you reformat, you'll have nothing on here. If I go into properties here, you can see that my USB drive has a bunch of free space. So right now we're good to go, and now we're ready to go back on the PlayStation 4 and dump our game of choice so we could get our 4 key files. So I'll do that in a second right now. Alrighty, so as of right now, we should be back on the PlayStation 4. Everything what we needed to do so far on the PC is good to go, and what you need to do as of right now is go ahead and plug in your USB device into your PlayStation 4 or your external hard drive, since we're going to be dumping our game of choice. So if you're in a game like I am right now, just go ahead and hold the home button, go into close application, and now what we're going to do is go back into our settings right here. go into user guide, helpful info, go into user guide again, and then we're going to go into Alzif DNS. So go ahead and select your firmware. So in my case, I'm on 6.72. Once again, if you want a different firmware than me, just go ahead and choose whatever category that fits your needs. But what we're going to do is go into app dumper, and this is going to allow us to dump our game of choice. Note, once again, please be sure to have a USB drive that can support higher file size. So if you dumping GTA 5, make sure you have at least a hard drive that is like 320 gigabytes if it's an external. But what I'm going to do is hit app dumper. It's going to run the payload right now, so it may take a few seconds, which is normal. Just waiting for it to do its thing right here. And once you get a notification on the screen, it's going to prompt some instructions, and then we're just going to go and following them from there. So it's just going to ask us to basically launch the game itself on the PS4 and then wait for dumping. Note, when you're dumping your game as well on the PS4, depending on how large it is, it may take a while. So if you're doing like GTA 5 or Persona 5 or any of those big titles, it will take hours on end. So be sure to have your power settings on your PS4 selected in a different manner. So just waiting for it to do its thing. Hopefully the payload will launch. If not, I'm just probably going to rerun it and cut the video, but sometimes it takes a little long, but it just overall depends. So right here it just says like the page not responding. So what I'm going to do is just relaunch the settings and hopefully it will run. If not, I will probably just turn off my console and then just restart again. But let's go back into app dumper and hopefully it will dump my app correctly. If not, I'll just restart my system and repeat over. Alright, so right now you can see it gave me the payload and now it's just waiting for clients to dump. So sometimes it may have like a little issue that you have to relaunch, or to redo, excuse me. So it's running app dumper right now, waiting for application to launch. So it's waiting for the end user to launch the application. So in my case, I'll be doing Atari Flash Black Classic Volume 1. And now you can see here it's starting to dump the game to my USB drive. So it notices that my USB drive is in here. And right now what you want to do is just leave your game on the main menu and basically wait for it to dump. What should happen once your game is fully done and it's dumped, your PS4 will turn off, and that is totally normal. But like once again, it all depends on how large your game is. So if you're doing a bigger game, it will take longer. If you're doing like a small game that's like this, which is only 200 megabytes, it shouldn't take that long to dump the game. So right now I'm going to cut the video right here and come back once my PS4 has shut down. That's how you know officially when it's done. But what I'm going to do is tune this off, and then we're going to go back on the PC and check out our files. So I'll meet you guys for that. Alright, so as of right now, we're back onto the PC, and one thing I do want to state before we get started on the rest of this process, once your game has fully dumped, your PlayStation 4 will actually not shut off if you're using Alzif's exploit host or the latest version. By the time you're watching this video, I will have this part edited out, so before you even get to this segment of the video, I already have that explained. But what I want to do now is showcase the next step. So go ahead and take your PS4, the USB from your PS4, excuse me, plug it into your PC, and then what we're going to do is see our game dump content. So right now, if your game is fully complete, you should see the content ID of your game. You should see a .complete file, and this is just telling you, hey, the dump was successful and it's basically completed. As well, you should see your app file here and patch. What we're going to focus on is not the patch file, since your contents won't be located there. We're going to be looking in the app file. So real quick, I wrote a little notepad before this video, and we need to obtain these 4 files. So we're going to find that for the Trophy Unlocker application. So what I'm going to do, real quick is create a new folder on my desktop. We just could call it anything. I'm going to call mine test. You could name it anything, but what we're going to do is place these 4 files once we find it into the test folder. So right now, from our content of your game, yours will have a different content ID. I'm going to go ahead and find the first file what we need, which is the PARAM.SFO. You could hit Control-C and just copy it in, or you could drag and drop. And by the way, this is a full dump of your game, so if you have to repackage this and with like Gen GP4 and then get a new PKG, this is just a dump of your game, by the way. But the other 2 files we need is NpTitle and NpBind. So I'm just going to drag that here, and then in the trophy folder you're going to get something called Trophy.TRP. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and dump that, and you want to go ahead and rename it to Trophy.TRP. I don't know why mine was a little mislabeled. If yours says like Trophy00.TP or TRP, then you want to just label it as Trophy.TRP. Now that we got all of our 4 files that is needed, we're ready to go to get this process set up. So what I'm going to do here is open up Trophy Unlocker again. So open up TrophyUnlocker.exe. Know that the program does look a little wonky, and it looks like it's missing some stuff down here which says build unlocker, but the application works. It doesn't look the prettiest to me, but regardless, we're ready to go. So all we got to do is go to wherever you have your new folder. So in this case, here's my test folder. Let's go and select the param.sfo. So open. We're going to do trophy.trp since that was the file that's needed. NpTitle.DAT, that's also needed, and np.bind. Hit open. Just verify that all your files are in the correct location where it says it's going. Then right now it will tell the game's content ID, which is the content ID of our game. And if we go into build unlocker here, we're going to go and on our desktop in the test folder that I created, I'm just going to hit OK and hit build unlocker. It should prompt up on the screen, and voila, you should see 2 PKG files. So you'll see like the .gp4, and this is the custom made homebrew application that will have the trophies embedded in here. This is not the full game. This is just the homebrew application that is going to allow us to unlock the trophies within it. So right now what I'm going to do is put this side by side, open up File Explorer again, go to my USB drive, and I'm going to paste this game onto the root of my USB. So depending on how big it is, I don't think these should be over like 30 megabytes in size, but once you have that, what we're going to do is close out of our File Explorer, go where it says safely remove hard drives and stuff like that. Make sure you eject the correct USB if you have multiple within your computer. So in my case, I am ready to go with that. Now what you want to do is go ahead and go back to your PS4, plug in your USB drive in, and I'm going to show you guys on how to get this homebrew application running. So I'll meet you guys back for that. Okay, so we're back onto our PlayStation 4 once again. Your USB should be plugged in with the PKG that we just built with Trophy Unlocker. Also as well, you should have Alzif DNS already set up, and you should have MIRA and Hen ready to go. So I already have that process done since my PS4 didn't shut off from last time. And what I'm going to do is go into settings really quick, and I'm going to go into debug settings here, and I'm going to go into game. Now we're going to go into package installer, and then we're going to find our packages. Be sure before you install your package that this will definitely rewrite your game. So for example, the game that we would have here will not be Atari no more, or basically have the actual game inside. It will just rewrite that with the contents of the homebrew application. So be sure if you're gonna have this to back up your game. So that's just reinstating the same thing 20 times over. But let me go into debug settings, game package installer, and hit X, and it's just going to give up the same message that the same content has been installed. Do you want to go ahead and install it? Just say yes, and it will take its time. It's only 14 megabytes, so it shouldn't take too long. And right now what I'm going to do is come here, and you can see that it already changed the game with PS4 tools, so it definitely changed the icon. And once again, just to show you this process works, you can see here none of my trophies are unlocked. But what I'm going to do here is open up Atari Flashback Classic. It's going to prompt up the screen right now, and we're going to show to start up the NP Trophy Unlocker. So right now the 000 trophy is the platinum, but let's see if I want to unlock this one. all you got to do is hit X, and voila, you can see here my trophies are popping in. So if I go ahead and like speed this up by clicking X on each trophy, you can see that this process is working pretty much just fine for this solution. And if I hurry up, so I unlocked all trophies, and you can see here it has like a little message list. So if I want to go ahead and hit triangle to show my trophy list, you can see here that all of the trophies are unlocked, but of course these don't have any timestamps. But yeah, that's essentially how to use Trophy Unlocker for the PlayStation 4. No, I'm not too sure if this can sync up to the PSN, and I'm not going to be able to test that since I do not want to lose my, jailbroken console. I still want to stay so I could, use for Homebrew. But if you want to do this for multiple games and, you really don't care about having a jailbroken console and you want to sync this to PSN, I'm not too sure if it works, but let me know in the comment section down below if it does. But yeah, essentially, this is how you unlock trophies for the PS4 with this new Homebrew application. It's been a while. If you guys are more interested on my other trophy videos, I will leave my PS3 video in the link in the description down below on how to unlock trophies for that system as well as Vita. But with all of that getting out the way, it's a good video for you guys to watch, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Hey everyone, it's me, Nagato's Adventure. Hope you guys did enjoy today's video. With that being out the way as well, I highly do recommend that y'all guys go ahead and follow my social media so you never miss any of the latest hacking guides and tutorials on my channel by subscribing to me and hitting that notification button as well. It's another method on how you will know when I drop my latest content, whether it be for the Vita, PS4, PS3, and such and so forth. As well, if you want to be in the mix of things and you want to join my official community, you can join via the link right now showcased on the screen and join my Discord that way. And if you do want to support my channel in any shape or form, you could become a patron. I will have a card right now. But with all of that getting out the way, hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.